Hey, YouTubers. Hi, babies. Hello, guys. And thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. Definitely subscribe, like, comment, share all the links. Oh, I only got 2 links, so share the links. And definitely do that. It would always be, like I said, greatly appreciated. Very, very much gratitude around these neck of the woods. Thank you, 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 thank you. And you say, why she say that every time she comes to a video? Because gratitude is so powerful, and I had to learn that. Even at 40, I had to learn that. Like, gratitude is so important. Like, just to be thankful. Just to be thankful, just to be thankful, just to be thankful, just to be thankful. It's so important. Like, so that's why if you hear me say thank you 80 times while I start my videos, that's why. Gratitude is extremely important. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every subscriber, every like, every comment, every share, everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's why I said thank you this many times. Okay, let's jump right into it. We're gonna talk about tonight's topic is gonna be, like I said, about religion, and not just in the LGBT community. I know that's my community, but just not in that community. It's just in general. We just gonna talk about it, as abroad, because it's so much going on with these churches today, and not just today's time, not just in 2024. I'm talking about years back in the 80s, back in the 90s, even 70s and beyond. I mean, it's been going on for so long, but it's coming out more and more and more now. Let me just go into a few clips that I saw, and I'm also sure share something not too personal, but a tad bit personally, that happened with me or whatever, or a part, with mine or whatever. But let me just say this. Let me just it was a clip that I saw, social media, whatever, and I believe it went viral, and it was of, I believe, the pastor's, I want to say, mistress that he was with, coming back into the church. She was, I believe she was pregnant, and she was confronting the first lady. She went all the way to the front of the church and confronted the front lady of the church. People grabbed their cell phones out, started recording this. That's how I, noticed, like, saw this information. And he got on the mic because they wanted him gone. They was like, what's going on? What are you doing? They wanted him out of the church. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Da-da-da. I mean, he just let me know he was not trying to give up being a pastor at that church. Whatever. But yes, you see her going up to the front of the church. You see her, confronting the first lady about, her husband whereabouts. Mess. I'm talking about mess in the church. Not outside the church, not in the parking lot. In the church. This happened in the church. The first lady the mistress walked up to the first lady and confronted her about her husband. Mayhem. Another thing I know y'all see going around, the whole thing that's going on with TD Jakes and mansion parties and all of this sick stuff all of this stuff he got going on. They think, these accusation, as far as, so the truth, it is what it is. That doesn't help either. My mom used to watch him on TV. And I'm like, I don't know if she still watch him now or whatever, but I'm like, she had me watch a few of his episodes. I was like, okay, he's cool. His word is, Now I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's too much. Then, like I said, for years I knew, and a couple of people known, about the money thing, the money situation that's going on with these churches, as far as how people are donating so much money to these churches. And Steve Harvey made a joke about it during, I believe, the Kings of Comedy, that movie. He was like, yeah, I know about the building fund. Got all that money, and can he put a doorknob on the building? Yeah, but it's not just a doorknob on a building. Where do this money really go? Because if it's not going back to the community to help the youth, to help the elderly, to help people in need, to help the less fortunate, if it's not being used to fix up the church, you know, whether it's essential layer, a doorknob, or providing food for, like I said, less fortunate people or whatever, or what, where's the money really going? Because then you hear stories about they taking the money. This is my green, y'all know this is my little smoothie that I drink. They take the money and they wind up using it to buy houses and cars and lavish vacations and, you know what I'm saying? And just some crazy stuff. And it's like, okay, that's not why that money was provided. That was never why donations was taken in the name of God. Like, that was not why, you know what I'm saying? So it's just too much finicky things happening in these churches. And it's just starting to, now I know y'all heard about the whole Catholic thing, and the young boys grew up and they told their stories about what some of their pastors did to them. And I was like, whoa, whoa. And I'm not going to mention his name, but y'all know it's a pastor that come on some of these stations, and there's a lot of African American stations too, and that's why I said it's like, why y'all so much on our stations? Is a certain pastor that come on these stations late night, even early morning, talking about, oh, you can get some holy water in a little packet and trying to sell holy water to people, and then you got the girls coming in. You know, you got the women and certain people in the church. Someone say, oh, yeah, I got this holy water. I got $6,000 in the mail. I got a new car. I got this. Oh, I got this happened for me and this happened for me. And testimonials from this holy water that's in this little packet that's supposed to save their lives and get them all this. And I'm like, it's a mess. And yes, it could be laughed at. It could be humid. They like, yo, it's a mess. It's a mess. And what concerns me is the kids that's coming into this generation that don't have a relationship with God just yet. And where do they go for one now? Because this is a mess. If all of this is happening in these churches and these kids get a little older, about that teenage year, about I say like around 12, 13, and they start to learn some stuff and they like, well, this doesn't seem of God. Like, what's you know, it scares me because I'm like, if the child don't have a relationship with God, it's just the most important relationship in this world to have ever. And they can't get that from a church because people no longer church to church. It was a post going around. And it was saying people didn't leave the church. People didn't leave the church. People didn't leave God. They left the churches. It was a post recently. It's all over the internet. People didn't leave God. They left the churches because there's so much going on with the churches. I just saw a clip right before I started this video. I was going on my social media, and this young guy, I think he was either over there in one of the islands or Africa or somewhere, and he was saying, he was naming people in the Bible, and he was saying, like, this guy was a fisherman, this guy was so-and-so, and he was like, Jesus was a carpenter. He was like, your pastor or priest or whoever who's at a church and they don't have a job, they're a thief. And that's how the clip ended. I was like, oh my God. But my thing is he wrong for saying that? Is he wrong for feeling that way? Because like I said, there's so much money that comes inside of a church through like donations and stuff. But where's the money going? You see what I'm saying? Is this young man lying about that statement? Is it far-fetched? Because to me, it sounds very, very accurate. You know? If all the people in the Bible had jobs or was doing something, you know what I'm saying? So, once again, that further lets you know, like, you know, listen, my thing is, and I say this all the time. I tell people I have my own relationship with God. It's not the church. It's not the Bible. It's not just certain. I have my own personal relationship with God. I pray. I manifest. I talk to God every single day. And when I tell you I talk to God throughout the day, it's not just in a prayer at night. It's not just a prayer in the morning. It's not through manifestation. I talk to God so much around here. So I talk to God so much. My partner be thinking I'm talking to somebody in the house, and she be like, baby, who are you talking to? I'm like, oh. She was like, okay, thank you. Because she be thinking I be going crazy. She be like, well, who are you talking to? I talk to God Like all the time. Like all the time. My ancestors. I talk to my ancestors all the time. Not just in the morning or at night. Not just to ask for something or no. All throughout the day. I'm having random conversations with them all the time. So what I would tell these youth out here now you got to get your own relationship with God, because now if you can't trust the churches or the mosques or any other place that y'all pray at and had a Quran and the Bibles and everywhere, if you can't trust anything no more, you don't know which way to go, of the house of God, because there's too much going on as far as sexually, physically, psychologically. At this point, it's a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So now you just got to have your own relationship with God now. And that's the only way I could break it down to the youth now. Let me tell y'all another story. One of my a past partner that I was with, that's all I'm saying. Sorry. I was trying to get, it'll get hot, a little nasty stuff. A partner that I was with years ago. Years ago. And her family was big on going to church. They would donate money to the church. I mean, in the thousands. Her family was donating money in the thousands to this church. Like, I think they donated over like 50,000 total or more to this church throughout the years. I said, whoa. I said, okay. I said, that's beautiful. They church going folks, and it was good that my partner family knew God and knew the house of God and all of that. I was like, cool, this is beautiful. Yeah. I was like, thumbs up. You always want your partner to be spiritual or have some type of connection with God. Well, I do. I can't speak for the world. And this is definitely not towards the atheists. It's not for y'all. This video is probably definitely not for y'all. To each his own. To each his own. So I was like, that's cool. Your family know God. Y'all go to church. Y'all good. Beautiful. They had a pool party at their house. And my partner at the time was like, yeah, come down. I want you to meet my pastor. I said, cool. I ain't got no problem with that. I came down the stairs. He was just walking in the door. I swear to you, I cannot make this up. I went to go shake this man's hand, and I turned into ice. I turned into ice. I could not shake this man's hand. This pastor at a church that they've been going to for years, giving money to, donations to. I believe he was the godfather of one of their children. And it just all of that. It was a deep connection between the pastor and the family. I could not shake this guy's hand. I could not shake his hand. I was like, you know what? I don't know what excuse I made up. I was like, yeah, I think I was just upstairs doing something. I was like, yeah. I was like, but it's nice meeting you. Hello. Still treated him with respect and everything. I just could not shake his hand. A few months go by. I want to say, I don't even know how long it was, but a few months definitely went by. My partner came back to me, and she was like, we got to talk. And I was like, what's up? She was like, remember our pastor that we've been seeing for years, the family been donating to for years, and I said, yeah. I forgot. And even if I knew his name, I went and said it on here. She was like, something just came out. I was like, what you talking about? She was like, I was on the phone with another, member of mine, family member, whatever. And she said they was having a beautiful conversation. They was talking about their childhood and stuff like that, And my partner kept talking about, oh yeah, you're I didn't want to say this, but it's okay. Like I said, no names. Your dad has been, a good pastor, to our family throughout the years. He's been good. We've been, And she kept praising the pastor. So I believe her family just got fed up, and she was like, stop saying that about him. Please stop putting him on this pedestal. He is not what you think he is. I mean, her cousin just went off. Damn, I didn't mean to say that part, but whatever. When the truth come out, it come out. Her cousin just went off, and she was like, stop saying that. I was like, and my partner was like, she paused because she was like, "What's the matter? Why you getting mad at me for talking about, the pastor in such a highly way? I'm not disrespecting him. I'm talking good about him." She's like, "It's so much that you don't know, and you and your family keep putting him on this pedestal, and y'all don't know." She was like, "Don't know what?" And she said the girl just broke down on the phone and told her everything. Now I'm not gonna go into detail of what was done, how many times it was done, how long it was done, none of that. But needless to say, like I said, this pastor was sexually hurting his daughters for years at that house. And she just told my partner all this information. And my partner came back to me in tears. She was crying. She was like, "Oh my God." And we used to go to his house. We would spend the night at his house. He never did nothing to me. He never came to me, nothing like that. But she was like, "Oh my God." And then she started asking her brothers, did he ever do anything to y'all? And they was like, "Nah, he ain't never touched us. He ain't never." But it's just for years that this was going on, and they didn't know. They didn't know. So she was crying, and I was like, "Okay, just it's okay. Like, that's all I could do as a partner. How do you take information like that? How do you take information like that?" Listen, my grandmother had us in church. Me, my cousins. My grandmother was an usher in the church. So we was in church. We was, it's just, you don't know as a kid. You don't know what's going on. Your parent or your grandparent take you to church, you go. You can't argue with them about, you don't want to go or you don't feel safe. You go. So she just was like, "I can't believe my family was apart, was at this church and that this happened. And that, like, I wanted you to meet him." She was like, "I was wondering why that day you couldn't even shake his hand." That's when I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, I went to go shake this guy's hand and I couldn't shake his. I was like, now it makes sense. When I tell you I turned to ice and a chill came over me that I never felt before, and I could not shake this man's hand. I was like, now it makes sense. My ancestors was inside of me like, no, no, no. And I think at that age I was 20 something. I was in my 20s. Like I said, this was years ago. Years ago. I'm 40 now, but this was years ago. I was like, now it makes sense why I went to go reach for this dude's hand and I couldn't even shake his hand. You know what I'm saying? So like I had to console her, make sure she was boiling, like not boiling like boiling eggs off. She was boiling like she was crying. She was just so hurt. She was just so hurt. And I was like, "Okay, calm down." Cause this is spiritual. This is spirituality. This is a relationship that you have. You think through God, through the past. This wasn't just a breakup. This wasn't just this was something on the lines of spirituality. So when you find out something like this hurts. If people don't get that, and it's somebody you trust. Her family trust is passed around. Their kids, they went to their house and spent nights at that house. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine your kids is in one room sleeping? He's doing this in another room to his own kids. This how real it gets. So she was just like, "Oh my God." And she just, it just hit her like bullets. And I was like, calm down. Calm down. But what I'm trying to tell you is, this is why the youth of today, I know they're not probably fans of going to church. I'm seeing people walk away from churches right now. They're like, "Listen, I'm not, it's too much going on. I'm not taking my child or my grandchild to no church. It's too much going on." It's not like it was before, or maybe all of this was going on. I'm sure it was. I'm sure for centuries all this sick stuff was going on, but it just wasn't this exposed. So now, it's out there. Like they always say, once the cup is, spilled, it's spilled. All you can do is try to clean it up, but it's spilled. The cat is out of the bag. So now my thing is, like I said, where do the youth go now? Where do they go for the house of God? And the reason why I keep doing those quotations is because I can't call that the house of God. I cannot. No, I cannot. And it wasn't just that situation that made me feel that way. Listen. I keep telling you, I have my relationship with God before, a lot happened before a lot of things took place. And I'm glad I did, because this right here would have hindered that relationship. I ain't gonna, right here I would have been like, whoa. Like, it's a lot going on in these churches today, whether it's Catholic, Christianity, Muslim. There's a lot going on. And all I could say to the youth out there, and I know I don't even make my videos for, children. None of my videos, like maybe one video out of all the videos that I made, one was made for children. The rest of them, they not made for children, because like I said, these topics are sometimes sensitive, and I don't want no child to see this and, be scared or be, parent, nothing like that. So, to the parents, since I can't, talk to the kids, or I want to, to the parents, it is time for you guys to either do, if y'all don't want to take your children to church anymore because there's too much going on with the church, it's time for y'all to do Sunday school at the house. It's time to really tell, explain to your kids God, and instill that in them. It's time to tell your kids to have their own relationship with God. Because just thinking that you're going to take them to church or a mosque or anywhere else and they're going to get that same bond with God or Allah, it's different these days. It's something happening. I know y'all know about the spiritual warfare that's going on. Listen, it's spilling right here on earth. Listen, it's a lot going on. Get your children and teach them of God. Because trying to find it at the house of God, supposedly, it's gonna become a thing of the past. People are walking away from churches right now. Their faith is shaky. And you can't blame them. You can't blame them. You can't blame them. So, at least teach your children, look, mommy or daddy can't take you to, or grandmommy or daddy can't take you to church anymore. We're going to still do some Bible lessons, or we're going to still teach you of God. We're going to still teach you how to pray. We're going to teach you how to manifest. We're going to teach you some things. Listen, I don't want to be a part of a world that has nothing to do with God. I don't want to be a part of a world if God is not involved. I don't want to be a part of a world if my ancestors not involved. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? And if they are walking away from the churches right now, and they're not letting their children go, of course, without them, the youth of our future, I'm scared. I'm paused. If this world is quote unquote crazy, and some of the people are is going kind of crazy right now as we speak, I don't want to think about a world without God. I don't want to think about a world where people are not believing in God no more and praying and going to church and mosques and having that spiritual connection anymore, because so much foul, despicable, horrific things is going on in these churches. That really needs to stop. That really needs to stop. When did the house of God become all of this mayhem? When did all of this start? And then you guys have the audacity to turn around and blame the LGBT community, for, saying that we are abomination and, we are against God and all this other stuff. It's more people like us that have our own relationship with God than what y'all got going on in the quote-unquote straight churches and all of that right now. Listen, I don't think we the problem. I don't think we ever were. I think y'all just put it on us so much. Y'all tried to, put society against gay people so much when it came to God, because y'all wanted to cover up the real mess that was really going on in them churches, like a pastor having mistresses and they get to come into church and confront the first lady. Like all of that sexual stuff that was going on with them usher boys and other boys and girls and God knows. Y'all was trying to cover up a lot more. So y'all said, well, let's use the LGBT community. Let's distract them with that. So we don't have to explain all of this. Y'all can't use us as a scapegoat no more. You guys, you cannot use us as a scapegoat anymore. Stop using the LGBT. Stop coming to our prides with picket signs talking about some, you're an abomination and God is against y'all. No. I know God. Stop coming to our parades with that mess. And y'all doing worse in these churches, outside these churches. Y'all wear the cloth supposedly of God, the robes and y'all be doing. Listen, stop using LGBTQ as a scapegoat and start facing some of the facts that was really going on inside of these churches and outside of these churches as well. That's all I'm gonna say. Because like I said, religion is definitely a deep topic. You know, I'm very careful of, you know, as far as, you know, when I talk about it. But like I said, it's a lot going on. And I'm afraid for the youth not having their relationship with God or Allah or the Rastafarians, Jah, and anybody. Listen, I don't care what you call him. Have a relationship with him. For the youth, you're going to need that relationship with God, okay? And I know in this day and time, it's a lot going on. And you're like, whew, you don't know where to turn, what to believe. I know. There's a lot spilling out. That warfare, that spiritual warfare is spilling out onto this earth. I get it. But have your relationship with God. Definitely keep and have your relationship with God. Okay? And even if it's a one-on-one relationship, it don't have to be a church. It don't have to be a Bible. It don't have to be a mosque. It don't have to be... Just have it on your own. Go find God yourself. Just do that, okay? But that's all I had to say about that. Like I said, it was just so many things being presented, you know, in front of my, and I was just like, wow. So this needs to be discussed right now because, wow, you know, wow. But yeah, yeah. Now parents, y'all gotta step up even more. I know, I come on these videos and I tell you guys to step up, step up, step up. You're like, damn. How much more you want us to step up? I know. Now you got to be a pastor. I told y'all to step up as far as the teachers and stuff. I told y'all to step up. Listen, you had the child. Now you got to be the pastor. You got to be the teacher. You got to be the... I know there's a lot of different roles. For the single parents, you probably got to be the other parent. I know the universe asked you to keep stepping up. I know. But you had the child, and now you got to... Now you got to probably be different roles to the child because you see how society is going. You know? You know? So now you just... You gotta do more of your role and then other roles. Big shout out to all the parents out there. The focus. Ooh, let me... The focus parents out there. It matters. It matters. The focus parents out there. Big shout out to y'all. Now you gotta be the pastor or the priest. Now you gotta teach your child about God because sending them to church may not be the safest thing in the world anymore. It's insane. It's a lot going on. But I'm gonna end this video. It's going to 30 minutes. Let me end this. You guys stay blessed, focus, stay safe. Have your own relationship with God first and foremost. Don't even try to, if you don't want to go to church to find God, if you want to go to a mosque to find Allah and anywhere else, Jah, if you don't find God within you, He's right there. God is in you. You ain't got to go search for God. He's in you. Find God and have your own relationship with God and your ancestors and the universe. Just have your own relationship. That's the only thing. That's the only advice I can give you at that point. Okay? But stay blessed out there and peace from a nerd. Okay, guys? Bye.